Today we will see excretory system. Now what is excretion? Excretion is simply nothing but removal of the unwanted metabolic end products or some of the nutrients which are excess in form out of the body. So that is the simple meaning of excretion, ज्याला आपण मराठीमध्ये म्हणतो उत्सर्जन. Okay, so why it is necessary? The activities of the cell are carried out within a narrow range of conditions. So at the cellular level, the conditions are limited. It is therefore important that the environment within the cell and the animal as a whole should be kept as optimum as possible. Now this process of optimization of the cellular condition and as an animal as a whole is called homeostasis. This involves a constant maintenance of level of salt and water, and depending on that also osmotic pressure in the hemolymph. So these two conditions are very important as far as homeostasis is concerned. One is level of salt and water, and second one is osmotic pressure in the hemolymph. If these two conditions are disturbed, then there could be an adverse effect on the cellular level and also as an animal whole. The excretory system is primarily responsible for maintenance of this homeostatic condition. This is often followed by the metabolic modification of the toxic compounds to such chemicals which can readily excreted out, or if not excreted out, safely stored in the body without harming the body organs. So this particular function is of excretory system. Now what are the excretory products? In insect, chief excretory products are solid, liquid and gaseous in nature. Liquid is presumably the water. Gaseous, in that gas which is excreted out, is carbon dioxide. And the solid, in majority of insect which are terrestrial one, the crystalline excreta includes the nitrogenous and non-nitrogenous salts. In the nitrogenous excretory material in terrestrial insect, they have 99% uric acid, and the insects which thrive in water or near water, or which live in damp conditions where water scarcity is not there, in these insects the excretory, nitrogenous excretory waste product is majority ammonia. So in case of aquatic insect or semi-aquatic insect, nitrogenous waste product is ammonia, while in case of terrestrial insects where water scarcity is there, they do not get water readily, in that case uric acid is the safest nitrogenous waste product which is excreted out. And the organs of excretion or the system which remove out these all unwanted toxic waste material is called excretory system. Now the organs of excretion. In insect, the primitive organ of excretion are Malpighian tubules, which are discovered by Italian anatomist Marcello Malpighi and were named in honor of him. They are almost universally present in all insects except Collembola, aphids and some species of Thysanura. They are long, slender, blind tubes lying in the hemocoel and are freely bathed in the hemolymph. They open at the junction of the midgut and hindgut. Distally, they are free, but in some insects like beetles, larval Lepidoptera, and some larval Hymenoptera, their free ends are inserted in the lumen of rectum, forming a typical condition called cryptonephridial condition. This condition enables them to remove water from the feces. It's a sort of water conservation, and it is highly essential in all terrestrial insects. But the mentioned insects, in case of beetles, larval Lepidoptera and some larval Hymenoptera, the Malpighian tubules remove the excess water from the feces and makes the fecal material dry. And also they remove the excess salts, excess nutrients, and push it back in the hemolymph. So in case of cryptonephritic condition, the major role is to conserve water, salts, and the nutrients. This condition is prevalent only in some insects, not in all insects. Number and size of the Malpighian tubules vary from insect to insect. Now, primitive number is believed to be 6, but fewer or more may be present. When they are few, they are longer, and when they are more, they are shorter. The primitive function of these tubules is to maintain the iron and water balance in the blood or in the hemolymph, and also removal of salts, all water, and some of the nutritive substances like sugar, amino acids from the fecal pellets and conserve them for reutilization. Apart from this major excretory role, they play various other functions in different insects, such as in case of chrysomeliid beetles, the specialized cells of these Malpighian tubules secrete some sticky material or sticky substance for adhering the substrate, and this is more prevalent in grubs of chrysomelids. In some, like spittle bug, the spittle-like secretion comes from these tubules. In Neuroptera, the silk which covers the cocoon or which covers the exudate pupa is produced from these tubules. So these are other functions than excretion. So this is the general plan of the Malpighian tubules. Now you can see they are present at the junction of midgut and hindgut. So here the attachment of the Malpighian tubules is shown. Now towards the left hand it is named midgut, and towards right hand where the rectum, colon and anus is shown, the rectum bag is shown swollen, so that particular is hindgut, and the Malpighian tubules are attached at the junction of midgut and hindgut, where their proximal ends are open and their distal ends are closed. Now surrounding Malpighian tubules is hemolymph. So whatever the nitrogenous waste, water, amino acids, sugar, salts, etc. are there, they are absorbed in the lumen of Malpighian tubules, maybe passively or maybe actively. And finally, whole material comes in the junction of midgut and hindgut, where it is pushed forward, means towards rectal bag. Now while going towards rectum, there is a absorption of water, amino acids, sugars and salt back from rectum to hemolymph. And as I said, in some of the insects, the free ends of the Malpighian tubules, they are inserted in the rectum bag. There, this reabsorption takes place through Malpighian tubules. And finally, the dry excreta leaves rectum, that we called as excretory pellets. So this is how the functioning of Malpighian tubules in general takes place. Now there are other organs of excretion other than Malpighian tubules. Some organs, they assist in excretion. In that, integument, that is the body wall, is said to be the organ of excretion. Now it is suggested to be a process of excretion. The molting process is a process of changing the old cuticle and forming the new cuticle. So in that process, some of the excretory products are deposited in the old cuticle, and that is mostly the nitrogenous waste products. Now in some insects, some pigments which are the final product of metabolism are also transferred to certain parts of the body, especially on the sternal plates. You can find the excretory deposition. For example, in case of red cotton bug, you will find the alternate red and white sternal plates. So these white sternal plates, they contain the uric acid crystals, and those are permanently stored without harming the body. Similarly, some insects show yellow color, orange color. That particular color is because of addition of pigments. So pigments are added. Now in some insects, the deposit, particularly the uric acid crystals or nitrogenous waste products, they are deposited in the body wall. And when the insect change the old cuticle and forms a new cuticle and finally leaves the exuvie. So in that exuvie, the nitrogenous waste products, especially the uric acid crystals, they are deposited. And when the old body wall is separated from the insect body, nitrogenous waste is thrown out along with the exuvie. So that is a sort of excretion, how it happens through the body wall. Now, part of respiration in some insects, particularly the parasitic insect which develop inside the host body, or the immature insects which are present in the water, exchange of gas, that is oxygen and carbon dioxide, happens through the body wall. So in that case, the carbon dioxide is removed from the body through the semi-permanent or permanent semi-permeable or permeable body wall, and that is how exchange of gases takes place. And in that case also, the excretory product carbon dioxide is removed through the body wall. Then tracheal system, as you all know, that intake of oxygen and removal of carbon dioxide is a function of trachea. So in that case, carbon dioxide and water vapor is removed from trachea. Alimentary canal, accumulation of the crystalline bodies in the wall of the midgut, especially in the epithelial cells, is observed, and those are nothing but the salts of calcium and salts of uric acid, which further are eliminated via Malpighian tubules. Now in insects where Malpighian tubules are absent, the gut plays an important role in excretion. In that case, the epithelial cells are cast off at each molting, and which contains mostly the inclusions, as I said, the calcium deposits or the uric acid deposits. So these deposits are removed at the time of molting, as the epithelial cells are also renewed. Then accessory organs of excretions are also there. In that we have nephrocytes. These are cells in the hemocoel of the insect which take up foreign bodies of relatively higher molecular weight, which Malpighian tubules are not in position to deal with. So they take up colloidal particles and dyes mostly, but not the bacteria. Nephrocytes also secrete lysozymes. So these lysozymes we have seen in the circulatory system as enzymes which damage the cell wall of bacteria and accelerate the action of sarcopines. So this lysozyme enzyme is produced by nephrocytes. Then fat bodies, these are vacuolated cells of irregular size and shape spread in the body and contains inclusion of various kinds. Fat bodies may be white, green or yellow depending on the deposition. In some insects, deposit of uric acids are stored in fat bodies or in urate cells of the fat bodies, and that's why the fat bodies are cream color, whitish cream color, because the uric acid deposits are present in the fat bodies. So in case of cockroach deposition, we have seen the fat bodies, yellowish white color fat bodies are there or fat globules are there. So in that case, the uric acid is stored safely in the fat bodies. Calcium salts are also accumulated in the fat bodies, which are then removed with the help of Malpighian tubules. And thus the fat bodies also acts as a organ of storage excretion, since they store the excretory material. That's why this process is called as storage excretion. So for today we will stop here. Next part is physiology of excretion, that we will see in the next lecture. Thank you.